Rabbi Sai. Leah nishmat. It's getting close. It's getting close to the Israelis. We're getting there. Baruch Hashem. Rabbi Sai, we have to thank Gary Ben Moshe. It's unbelievable job he does. Woo! Look at him, he's standing up. He's standing ovation. And what's his Shabbos is the hardest day for him to come. He's in the. It's going to be a Moedik. Hayoim chamishu shloishim yoim sheim chamisho Shevuos boim eloimer. I'm still waiting. I don't know if anybody has Eli Silber's phone number, but I really want him to come here in front of the Olam and address the Olam. So we're waiting. He's coming from Miron. So if he comes in the middle of the shir, we're going to have to pause. We're going to skip around some of the emails so we have a little time for him. The pizza tonight is sponsored by Mordechai Sapaznik Zech Nishmas, my grandfather, Reb Yisrael Ben Reb Avraham Yeshayahu Sapaznik Zechroin Levrocha. So, my name is Shmili. I'm a truck mechanic in Kiryas Yoel. When I was a bucher, I enjoyed to learn Gemara, and by 19 years old, I've already learned more than 1,200 daf Gemara. After that, I didn't learn Gemara anymore. Many people like that. I was always looking for someone that's enjoyable to listen so I could learn while, what? Not the whole thing, not the whole thing.
Jumped around.
I know, I got to read the whole thing. About a year ago, I spoke to a friend of mine that drives his truck, and he told me that he listens to Yeshid while driving, so I took the idea and started to listen while working on vehicles. But since I didn't want to learn Daf Yomi Chas v'Shalom, oh, maybe I did read this. So do Chazara. Then to another Masechta, and of course it lasted only as long. Oh, I did read this. Okay.
Motzei Shabbos.
Oh. Gewaldig. And I even showed this, and I didn't bring that. Did I read Yitzi Patchen's email? I joined at the beginning of Makkah and received the free Gemara. It's difficult to start because over Pesach, but I learned the Masechta. It was a great feeling. I had not experienced it in a few years. With regard to Shevuos, I started strong, but with Daf Hey, I started to fall behind. Did I read this or not? I originally had some helping to check in with me and hold me accountable, but he got too busy and he hasn't done so. Oh, at the end he writes here, I'm not supposed to say his name, because I read this in Hebrew. All right, Yitzi, it doesn't matter. He doesn't care. I was hoping for any tips that you may have to help me get back on track, even though I'm behind, as I'm new to the daf. So, tonight, but I didn't put it in, I received a WhatsApp all the way from Beitar, from Shapsi Cohen. He was here tonight. He comes every Motzei Shabbos. But by the way, which reminds me that we got to talk about it. I was going to bring the Ami magazine of this week, which had Irish Simon on the cover of the business part, and I read a little bit of it, a lot of it. Anything that was negate to me, I read. But he writes there, and he reminded me. It's not. I take it for granted. He comes every single day, all the way from Beitar, and he comes there like 5-something in the morning. Comes an hour before davening, so he could do chazar. It's not a special thing to drive. So, of course, I thought the Shapsi also comes from Beitar at least once a week. And Shapsi sent me today, somebody from the group said that because he's on a retention group, he's never misdap him, and it's so much better than Makis or whatever it is, right? So the retention group helps. So that's one of the aids I could give this guy Yitzi, is to get on a retention group. Basically, you're in a group with people from your neighborhood, and you encourage each other. And if you get a one-on-one chavrusa kind of thing, it's even better. Please don't share this with the share, as the person who's supposed to hold me accountable watches it, and I don't want to embarrass him. Big deal. So they dropped each other. Best, Yitzi Patchen. I'm not going to mention his name. Gary, don't mention his name, okay? Don't put it. Shalom Aleichem. Now we also have here, you come from Yerushalayim, right?
Yes.
Motzei Shabbos, right after that, you got in the car and ran. What's your name again? Remind me?
Chol Green.
Chol Green, and your son?
What's his name?
Moshe. Shalom Aleichem, Moshe Green.
Moshe Green.
Don't, you tell me. Since Makis, how's Shevuos? It's easier than Makis, no? Same. Same is also good. What's your name, Tzaddik? From Monsey, New York, Reb Yoel, Yishkoyach. What's your name again? Remind me your name. Yeah. Mati, Rabbi said, we have a very chosh. I got to tell you about Mati. Mati comes in from Beitar every morning, he basically, he's from England. How old are you? Like 14? Yeah. And he told his father he doesn't want to go to yeshiva here unless he could go to the shir, because he was doing the Daf Yomi in England. His father spoke to Yeshiva. Yeshiva said, okay, you could go. So Mela, you see Mati, everybody say hello to Mati when you see him in the morning, give him chizuk, because he's young, he's away from home, but he comes into the shir every morning. Yeah. All right, Basnach, we got to get going, we got to learn. Just to remind the Olam, tomorrow morning, Be'ezer Hashem, I'm flying with some chevra to Africa. So we decided we're going to keep the minyan the way it is. 6:30 is the minyan. The shir is going to be before the minyan. So 5:30 live shir. And those who can't make it for the live, we understand it's 5:30 in the morning. This is going to be the same shir at 7:10 on the screens. So 6:30 minyan as usual. Rabbi Shomer, you got it? Don't come here don't expect Vasikin here at 5:30, it's 6:30. All right, but he said he's going to be here, Rabbi Schoenberg. Did I show this? I don't know if I showed the Americans. So some of the groups are doing these like incentive prizes that if you sign in every day that you did the daf, you answer the poll, then you could, over here, you could win 1,000 shekel at the end of the Masechta for the next 30 days. The second prize is a Gemara, etc., etc., etc. Okay. Rabbi Yisai. We're holding Daf Yomi Beis, I believe, by Tanan, yeah? Sponsors. Let's see if we have any sponsors today. Oh, believe it or not, we have some sponsors. Not too many. Anonymous Hatzlacha bruchnius. One of these sponsors, Leah Moshe Yosef. Parnasa Birevach for Baruch, Tzvi Nissim ben Shoshana, Leah, Jeff's Gourmet, Los Angeles, Moshe Aron Miriam Landy for the Hatzlacha of all our children. They're both coming on the safari. ActualEyes in honor of David Duvie, Merkin of Eastern Union, and all Silver Spring daffers. Weekly sponsors: Yumi Feig, Leah nishmat Sheindel, Bas Rav Yחיאל Michal Aleh Shalom, Yortzei Lag Boimer, L'Hatzlacha B'chol Anyonim. Anonymous for Zera Shel Kayama, all made. Brocha Green, not related. Leah nishmat Shlomo ben Yisrael, Price family. Leah nishmat Akiva Ben Avraham, Dr. Clifford Price. You guys are new over here? No, I've seen you a lot of times. I've seen you a lot of times. Official Mitzvah Motivators. Oh, official. He's also coming on the thing. Leah nishmat are good friends and patriarchs of their very respective families. I have to read this before usually. Baruch Hashem, he didn't trip me up here. Aharon Yosef and Shmuel, Reb Aaron Prero, Akiva Ben Avraham, Dr. Clifford Price.
He's the best, Cliff. I know.
Nobody asked you. I'm just reading sponsors here. MDY Kids Monthly Innovations. But every guy I'm going to say, he's the best, he's the worst. Listen.
He's a great guy.
Oh, I appreciate it. How are you doing?
I'm great.
Yeah?
Always good.
How's the Schneimaker doing?
It's still going.
Good. I still owe you a helicopter ride.
We're gonna do it.
Innovations, Chusf Official, Elchanan, Akiva, Rivki, and Mrs. Stefansky. Givaldik. Are we holding by Tanan? Hapinim Necheles Achitzon in Esrefes?
Yes.
Great.
Art of the month.
Art of the month? I didn't do Art of the month? Oh, he's right. Art of the month. He's holding. The kid's holding. Those kind of Aharis are okay. Refuah Shleima for Yonatan Eitam Ben Basheva Bracha. Great guy. Great guy.
That's right.
He is. For Schos, for Belly, and the whole MDY staff to continue to make Torahs and Jova so many, and honor Rebbe Klein and Mark Ashkenazi for all the work they do, otherwise known as Dark Sephardi. Okay? Givaldik. Rabbi Yisai, yesterday, we were talking about these breads. What do you do with them? Let's say you want to extend Yerushalayim. Here's the wall to Yerushalayim, and it's getting a little, it's hard to live there. You want to extend it a little bit. So there's a whole procedure. You have to take the breads, you have to shech the carbon taida. You have 71 people, 71 Sanhedrin. You have a king. You have a kohen with the Urim and Tumim. You have all these things. And then they walk around the Sanhedrin. We had a machloikus. Are they walking side by side like in this picture? Or they're walking one after the other? See if this works. No, why would it work? Hold on. Oh, I know why it's not working, because he decided to click on it. But now it's going to work. Oh. So here, they walk. Now you see, there's a chitzayin and a pnimi. There's the inner bread and the outer bread. Why is the inner of the inner? Because it's closer to Yerushalayim, it's closer to the wall. Kim Sarai, in this room, why are you standing? There's a seat right over here. There's a seat right over here. Ayid geit rechts. You're going to have to go left. No, come, no, I'm kidding. Come. No, I was talking to him, not to you. Come. There's a seat right over here. Kim Sarai, no, you're sitting next to one of the famous Get a Gemara down there, Shapsikon on the bottom shelf. Yeah. Okay, so that's why he's a chitza in Shalom Aleichem. Over there. Sit over there. So this is problematic. And also, Benny, remind me, I got to take the Beis Hamikdash down for the Hebrew shir, okay? Kims, Shkoyach. Pnimi and chitzain. There's a inner bread and the outer bread. So says the Gemara. Tanan, we learned in the Mishnah, Pnimis ne'acheles v'achitzoinen esrefes. I'm going to show you the other sheet in a second. The inner one, the one that's closer to the wall, you get to eat. The outer one, you get to burn. Oh, so now let's see the second sheet. Here's the second sheet. The two breads go like a train, one after the other. Now they're going. Now, says the Gemara, the outer one must be burnt, and the inner one you could eat. It makes a lot of sense now. If this is the case, it makes sense. Why? Think about it. The outer one is blazing through. He's creating the new Kedusha. He's going in a place that's not Kadosh yet. It's not Yerushalayim. Wherever he walks, it becomes Yerushalayim. But he's first. So he gets burnt by the tumah of the outside of Yerushalayim or whatever it is. And therefore, you can't eat that bread. You have to burn it. The inner one's just following him. You know, like a cyclist in a race. You ever did it? High lifeline, whatever. You go. You want to take. You go. The first guy, he has to go through or like trucks on the highway. They do that all. Trucks. I don't know if you ever noticed. They go behind another truck. The first truck, he spends all the fuel to break through the air, and it creates like this. And the truck goes behind him, and he uses that wave. But the first guy, it costs him more. The chitzon over here also, he's trailblazing right through the expansion of Yerushalayim. You burn him, you could eat the inner one. But if this is the pshat, Rabbi Yisai, right over here, not this. Where is it? How did I lose it already? Okay, side by side, like this. Maybe I could pull it back. No, side by side. They're both trailblazing at the same exact time. The outer one is not doing more than the inner one. They're both going in a place that's not part of Yerushalayim, and both of them should be burnt, or both of them you should be able to eat. Why is one different than the other? Asked the Gemara. I could get it. The inner one is eaten because the outer one comes before it. And it's Mekadesh everything. But if they're side by side, they're both trailblazing, if that's the right word. Somebody has a better word than that?
Drafting.
Who?
Drafting.
Oh, drafting with the trucks.
Right.
Thank you. So there is such a thing, right?
Of course.
Okay, there's drafting. But if they're side by side, all right, Reb Dov, is that the first time you ever said something in shir?
I was waiting for the right.
That was the right moment. That was. But you know what? How many years are you in shir? Aryeh Simon, learn from this guy. He's here for 4 years and he finally said something. You're in the shir for 1 minute and he said 6 things. Wow. But he has an aura on the aura. Wow. David, have a shmooze with him afterwards. Which reminds me that Reb David is leaving town with us. He's not going on the safari, obviously. And we're going to need you, Donnie, to be the kohen, the official kohen. And if you can't do it, you're going to have to get somebody.
I saw Eitan.
But not for the next
And you spoke to Eitan? Okay, fine. But these schmoozes we can do in front of everybody, we can do on the side, whatever the line was. Okay. Says the Gemara, let's say they're one after another. What? You could take one bread and say that it became, you have to burn that one and the other one is Kadosh. So don't forget, we had a whole list here. How do you expand the city? You need to do all these things. You need a king, you need a Navi, you need a Urim V'Tumim, you need a Sanhedrin, you need to bring 2 breads, and you need all these instruments. As we're going to see in a second, this is a machlokes. Do you need all these things, or one of these things is enough to expand the city? Let's say you need all these things. One of the things, the second to the bottom, is shtei taidos, 2 breads. So how could... if one of them becomes puzzle, as soon as it trailblazes, as soon as it pokes a hole in the expansion and becomes puzzle, then you don't have two breads. And according to the Mandor, it says all you need is one of these things on the list to make Yerushalayim larger. But the two breads are identical. How could you split them up? They come from the same source of mitzvah. You can't break them up. So finally, the Gemara says, okay, this answers everything. There's no logic here. This is Chagei Zechariah Malachi. The Nevi'im came and said, and then Bayis Sheni, they said, this is how it's done. Burn one, eat one. The one that's closer to the wall, you burn, you eat. The one that's outside, you burn. Shalom Yisrael. Why? I don't know. That's what they said. Nevuah. Kol sheli nasis b'cholelu. So if you don't go through this whole list, you don't do all these things, then the city is not expanded. If, let's say, your tummy, you walk in there, there's no issues. You're talking about the Beis HaMikdash as well. You have to expand the Beis HaMikdash. You need to do all 6 things. If you don't have all these 6 things, don't worry about it. Your tummy walked in there, you don't bring a carbon. Itmar. Ravuna Omar b'cholei lutnan. Oh, here's the machlokes. I need all these things on the list in order to expand. Rav Nachman Omar ba'achas b'cholei lutnan. Only one. Ravuna Omar b'cholei lutnan. By the way, easier stuff, easy Gemara, very light. So there's a machlokes in all of Shas. We're going to talk about it for a few minutes. And that is, when David HaMelech said that Yerushalayim is Kadosh, the Beis HaMikdash, the Har Bayis is Kadosh, and Shlomo HaMelech also, they were Mekadosh it, does it last forever? Does it last forever? By the way, the Rambam paskins that it lasts forever, at least the Har Bayis, the Mokem HaMikdash, and most poskim paskin like him, so therefore there's an Isser Kares to go on the Mokem of the Beis HaMikdash. If you go there today, it's an Isser Kares. So, interesting Shaila, I don't think I said, I was supposed to say yesterday, I don't think I said it. They discussed, let's say you have a Chayal. He has to be up there. Pikuach Nefesh. If not, the Arabs take stones, they'll throw it on the people in the car. You have to be up there. So he has to, first of all, I was speaking to Rabbi Schoenberg about it last night. So he has to be toivel in the mikvah, and he actually has to say a bracha. It's a tefillas keri, and he has to say a bracha al mitzvah tefillah. It's mamish adoraisa, has to do chafifa, all the halachas of chatzitza, nails, teeth, the whole thing. Mamish like a doraisa. So, and I'll make a bracha. Now he davens. Shmona Esrei. Where does he face? Where's he facing? So, no, he's there. So should he face? Let's say his back is to the kaisel. Should he face where the Beis HaMikdash was, or should turn around and face the kaisel?
No,
not the kaisel. So the Acharonim say, some Acharonim say that he should face the kaisel.
No.
Reb Asher Weiss says, I know. He argues. I'm going to tell Reb Asher Weiss you argue with him. He says I don't have a source for it, but since that's the most kaddish place that we have today, we should daven there. I'll tell him, you can write in. You say no. Eitan G says no. Okay?
It's a wall. They'll buy a gun. I don't do that.
What do you mean, a wall? It has Kedusha.
The hotel wall.
Yeah, it has Kedusha. We'll talk. You talk. I'm good with him. You don't get along with him. Says in Gemara, Vezra, you say there's no Shechina there? Okay. People are not like Reb Asher Weiss. I mean, his psak. Oh. So, what?
People have the curse of face towards the
That's right.
Okay, I hear. I'm just throwing it out there. I'm just a messenger. Basically, what this means is that there's kedusha forever. Oh, so here's the shaila. Now, in the Bayis Sheni, when Ezra was mekadosh the Bayis Sheni, what did he do exactly? What was Ezra missing from this list? Here, look at the list. What is he missing? What else? Melech. Very good. So he's missing 2 things: Melech and Urim Tum. If you needed this whole list, and it says in the pasuk Ken Yasu, you have to do it for the Dairais. What was the lashon over there? V'chein Tasu. So you need all 6 things. You can't just do 4 out of the 6. Oh, but if the kedusha is there forever and ever, like the Rambam says, at least about the Mokem HaMikdash, but it's there forever. So then you don't have, Ezra didn't have to do it. There's no point of him doing it. Oh, so that's what he says. Ezra, so why did Ezra do it? It's not good what he's doing. He's doing 4 out of 6. Why did he do it? He was just doing it to commemorate what you're supposed to do, but not that it's going to be effective. It doesn't affect anything. You just did it. Chinuch, to show Klal Yisrael how you do it. If you have Durim Tumim, you can have Durim Tumim. He didn't have it. He did whatever he had. Nachman says no. The list is not a full list. You can do whatever you want from this list. 1, 2, all 6. The Kedusha that David HaMelech did in the Bais Rishon and Shlomo HaMelech doesn't last forever. And Ezra, but he didn't have a king, he didn't have Urim Tumim. It's enough to do it with 4, because you can do it with 1. Enough is enough, Sanhedrin is enough. So he did it. It says in the Mishnah Mefurish they have to do all 6. No, that's not what the Mishnah means. It means kol sheloi nasis with one of these, not all. You don't have to do it with all. You didn't read it well. Toshma. Shmaka, easy stuff here, but where's this picture? I have a hard time finding it. Oh, somebody put this in here. So I literally had it on my desk and I was like, okay, I'm going to bring it. Let's see. It's Shevuos. I'm closer. I remember that one. Oh, how so? Eli Stefansky, why we're early clients. My branch manager at Shemesh, Yoni Meisel, the name of Rebelli, was one of the first people in the shir. A lot of my friends would push me to join the Daf Yomi shir. I always gave a standard excuse. What's the standard excuse, Ari?
Pick whichever one you want. Chazara.
No time. Anyways, he does a bunch of chazara today. Givaldi.
The other side of the...
I don't have the other side.
Oh, I think you see it.
This over here?
Right.
Which one? This?
The Israelis are coming in.
Countable, right there.
Oh, the Israelis are coming in. Okay, fine. Tashma, we got to do at least as much learning as we do Batala. So let's keep on going. Oh, but where's my picture here? I'm looking for my picture. Oh, here it is. Yeah, I know. It's hard to see. Gishmak. So we're inside Yerushalayim. We're looking out to outside. We're looking to Amud Beis. You see the wall? That's the wall of Yerushalayim. There's 2 muddy areas on Amud Beis, and they enclose those 2 muddy areas with a wall. The bottom one is completely like Yerushalayim has the Kedusha. The top one is 0. Now, there are 2 things. What did I say? I said no. Har HaZeisim. Sorry, Har HaZeisim. That's what I meant to say. Har HaZeisim. We're looking from Yerushalayim into Har HaZeisim. It's 2 muddy areas. So they enclose the 2 muddy areas on Har HaZeisim. So the bottom one has Kedusha. Top one doesn't have Kedusha. So let's see inside. They did the whole procession. They did the Navi, the Durim Tumim, the 2 Toidos with a bunch of musical instruments. The upper one has 0 Kedusha. They built a wall. The people that came from Golos, they came from Bavel, they decided, let's build a wall around it. They didn't have what they needed. They didn't have a king, they didn't have Urim Tum. The bottom one had complete Kedusha. Kachim Kalim, you could eat like a shlamim, a taida, the lighter korbanos. Shlamim you can bring as a nedava, taida you can bring as a nedava. You eat, nice steak, but it has to be within the walls of Yerushalayim. So, it goes like this. The Ami Aretz, check this out. You see these Amaratzim on the bottom, Gishmak. Here's the Amarot. These are Tamid Chachamim. Great. The Ami Aretz would not eat inside even though it had Kedusha, they were super machmer. You know, Amaratzim sometimes are machmer where you don't have to be machmer. They're makel where you have to be machmer, the machmer where you could be makel. That's what they do. They're not just makel everywhere. Sometimes they take a zgula and they go meshuggah with it, yeah? The red band can't come off, no, never, whatever. They take it. So what's happening here? Why? Says Rashi, the famous pasuk. Everybody, even the Amaratzim know this pasuk. They love it. This is like they live by this. Aser b'shvil shetasasher. They like it. They want to give meiser. They want to take the meiser sheni to Yerushalayim. And they're super machmir. This place over here has Kedusha. We expanded Yerushalayim. You're allowed to eat it? No. We have to make sure that when we eat the meiser, it's inside the real Yerushalayim. We have to be machmir. Then on the flip side, something that you must be careful with, like eating kachim kalim inside Yerushalayim. They go ahead and they eat the kachim kalim in the upper enclosure where you're not allowed to eat kachim kalim. Typical Amoritz. Amoritz. But the Talmid Chacham, no. Did I skip something? Sorry, let's go back. They eat kachim kalim because you're allowed to eat kachim kalim in this place over here. Why? Because it has. Let me get rid of these guys. The bottom one has kedusha, so you're allowed to eat kachim kalim there. They're allowed to eat meiser sheni there. They don't eat meiser sheni because that's the aser. But those who know, and they eat even karbanis over there. The top one above that doesn't have any kedusha to it. Why would they eat kachim kalim there? Because there's a wall around, so they decided you're allowed to eat there. But they would not eat meiser sheni. And they wouldn't eat anything in there. Not kachim kalim. Of course, there's no kedusha there. Fine. Why did they mekadesh it? Shem Yosefim ala ir balazaris elav melech v'navi v'rum tum v'sanher shoshim v'echad v'shtei toiz v'shir. So the Gemara says you need the entire list. That's why if you don't have the whole list, and you don't have a king, you don't have a v'rum tum, you don't have the whole list, you cannot add to Yerushalayim. And why were they mekadesh it? Wait a minute. You just told me that they weren't mekadesh the top one. So what are you saying? Why didn't they mekadesh it? They were. Why are you telling me why were they mekadesh it when you just told me they weren't mekadesh it? What was the point of making the wall over there on the top one? The answer is it had a vantage point over Yerushalayim. You don't want the enemy. It's like the Israelis just took over the Hermon over there. They took over. Why? Because you don't want the Syrians to come one day and they have it, and then they'll have a vantage point. You take the vantage points away. So they enclosed, not because they wanted to make it kadosh, because just as just defense or whatever it is, nothing to do with kedusha. Tanoi. So we have machlis tanoim if the kedusha lasts forever or not. The sanyo omer b'lezer. Shamati shoyibonim behechol also kloim lahechol kloim lazaris. So here's a very simple thing. And they were building walls. Wow, you guys came early. Zrizim Akdimim for the Hebrew. Oh, sure. Huh?
One guy, not you guys.
No, look who's next to you.
I'm here for the English.
You're here for the English. Okay. Wow. Spilling over. We have Rabbi Gertner. Here. All right. So check this out. Oh, no. What are you doing? Yeah. So they want to build a wall over there. So what do? They put up a mechitza and they build a wall for the heichal. Okay? The heichal is where the menorah is. Behind that wall is where the heichal is. When they want to build a wall for the heichal, they put a screen and build a wall so the workers don't see the heichal. But you see the wall on the right? But when they want to build a wall for the azara, that's where the mizbeach is, what we're looking at. So then the workers could see the azara where they're working on, so they build a wall on the outside. And they'll build a wall where the dotted lines are. Let's go back for a second. They want to build a wall where these red... that's wrong. That's not true. This is not good. Forget the dotted lines. They want to build a wall exactly where these four beams are. But they're going to put a screen behind it so you don't see it. You don't see the heichal. The wall, then they're going to take the screen out, and the wall is going to be for the heichal from the inside. Over here, we're building a wall for the Azara, and you're allowed to see the azar. You're allowed to be inside the azar while you build. You're allowed to look at the mizbeach. You don't want people to look inside. The heichal, they put a screen on the outside of the heichal. And in the azara they build the wall from the inside. You can be makriv a carbon. That's why today, theoretically, maybe you would be allowed to bring a carbon pesach on Har Bayis every year. People get arrested there for trying it, even though there's no Beis Hamikdash. And you're allowed to eat, even from the chatos, even though there's no walls. Chachim kalim, you're allowed to eat a carbon pesach and shlamim and taida. Umeiser sheini, and the 10% you give to yourself. If there's no wall around Yerushalayim, why? The kedusha lasts forever. So the Gemara's medayik. Wait a minute. If Rabbi Yeshua says that, so somebody must be arguing on him. So here's our two Tanaim who say, Machlokes, the kedusha lasts forever? No, Rabbi Eliezer says it doesn't last forever. He doesn't really say it, but l'chayra he's arguing with Yeshua. Who told you? There's no machlokes at all. They don't know. They weren't even referring to each other. Rabbi Yeshua said his halachas was to hear from his Rebbe, and then we're going to see tomorrow also. This is ADIs. ADIs are testimonies that people said, I heard this from my Rebbe, and a minute later you're saying something completely different in another part of Shas. These are just testimonies. So if Rabbi Yeshua said one thing, doesn't mean that Rabbi Eliezer is arguing him. He didn't hear anything about that from his Rebbe, so he didn't react. He said something else from his Rebbe. According, if the Kedusha remains everywhere, why do you need to put up these screens? These curtains. It's Yosef Alma. You don't want people looking to the Beis Hamikdash. There has to be a certain yira. So there's a certain way you do things. You don't like open up the White House and let everybody look into the White House. You put the screens and this, that. That's how it works. So where do we see machlokes of Tanaim that argue whether or not the kedusha that David HaMelech instilled in the Beis Hamikdash remains forever or not? The Zayir Rabbi Shmuel Rabbi Yossi. Lama Manu Chacham Meselu. Kishol b'nei Hagoyla. Why in the Mishnah? I don't know. I think I might have it. Oh, here we have a Mishnah here. It says these are about 8 cities here. These are the cities that had a wall from Yeshua ben Nun. Kigoin. It says Kigoin even in the Mishnah. So I don't understand the kasha. Ktsara Shoshana, Tzipoyri, V'chagash Gush Chalav, V'yedefes Shoshana, V'gamla. The only one I know here is Gamla. I used to go to Gamla a bunch. Remember Gamla? Here it is. It's a beautiful place. You could see a lot of vultures. They have a whole vulture thing going on there. What? So anyways, this is a city that had a wall. Why do we have to count 8? When people came from Bavel up to Yisrael, here it says that they were Mekadesh it. That the Kedusha went away. By the Churban Abayis, Kedusha dissipated, and when they came back in, they made a Kaddish. Once there's a Churban, the Kedusha went away. Here we have a Mandama that says that the Kedusha doesn't last forever. Virimini, we have a question. Why is there 8 cities? There's 60 cities. They all have walls, gevaya, high walls. Why did they count them? Because when Klal Yisrael went up, as they were passing by, they were mekadesh them. Rabbi Schoenberg, how are they mekadesh them? You know? No. Oh, Rashi also didn't know. Rashi says, I don't know. Givaldik. Kitchum Ashto. Rabbi Schoenberg, we could always realize Rabbi Schoenberg is mechaven to Rashi's all the time. Kitchum Ashto. Why are you mekadesh them? You don't need to be mekadesh. They found these and they counted them. They weren't mekadesh them. They passed by. They said, "Oh, here we have another city." Here in Ramat Bet Shemesh, every single year somebody comes out with a whole book, different book every year. Why Ramat Dalet has to lay the Megillah on Tezvav like Yerushalayim? Because there's a city next to here, right over here, that has a wall from the time Yeshua ben Nun, whole drushes. They already passed in that, and then they come into the Rav, didn't know, he didn't have all the information, so maybe we have to redo it. Gives people what to do. Anyway, we have here two shittas. One says the Kedusha remains forever, one says not. The problem is, in one place he says the Kedusha would last forever, and the other one he says the Kedusha doesn't last forever. That's the easy way out to say there's a machlokes Tanoi in what he said, and therefore it came out complete opposite shittas. That the Kedusha remains forever, the Kedusha does not remain forever. Another pshat is the second one is actually a different mandorma completely. It's not Rabbi Shmuel ber Rabbi Yossi, it's Rabbi Lazar ber Rabbi Yossi. So okay, that answers. Rabbi Shmuel ber Rabbi Yossi says that it's that there is Kedusha forever, and the second one says there's no Kedusha. Says the Gemara, the Sanya Rabbi Lazar Rabbi Yossi Omer here, it's another man. Omar Asher Loy Choyma. You see how tricky a little bit. He uses the word Loy, Lamed Vav Aleph. Usually it's Lamed Aleph or Lamed Vav, not Lamed Vav Aleph. That's cheating, kind of. He's taking the word no and he's making it to him. Loy Mitavav. Avapisha Loy Achshav. If it doesn't have a wall, it means even though there's no wall, but he had. If it had before, that's good enough. That's Kitcha, Lasid, Lavoi. Turn over the daf. Sponsored by Innovations LC in honor of our sons, Calvin Yisrael. For learning Sanhedrin Makis and Shevuos with Reb Eli. I wonder if it's going to happen. He's going to come in. Silver's going to come in like the last minute. But tomorrow morning is 5:30.
Yeah, 5:30.
Eves. What about the Israelis? They don't get to see him. Okay, so Eli Silver's not coming tonight. Anybody wants to see this? It's going to be, he's a classic. This guy's a classic. Map's a story for the ages. Eli Silver. Maisi told me he was here, and he told me a crazy story, so I asked him to tell the Olam. Says the Gemara. It says in the Mishnah, Nittim Azar v'nelma Memeno Tuma. I thought I did say the sponsors. No, I did say that. Adar Global still exercises international services. Anonymous in honor of the tzaddik, whose name we cannot say, who shows us what it means to be a giver in a tzaddik. Tuma ba'azar min alon. How do we know that if a person is inside the azar? Let's see if I have that picture. I said on Friday I wanted to put it in, and no. Okay. So basically, you guys remember the picture? A guy's in the azar. He steps on a mouse. And he has to leave. He has to leave the easy way out, the quick way out, and not to take his time. If he takes his time, then he's a chayav karba. How do we know? We know the pasuk says, if you're tummy, you're not allowed to go inside the Beis Hamikdash. But how do you know if you're inside the Beis Hamikdash and you touch a mouse, you have to leave? Who told you? Why? Because we have two psukim. Here, look at these psukim, one after another. In Bamidbar, Pergites, pasuk Gimel and Yudalad. One says it's Mishkan Hashem Timei, the other one says Kiyas Migdash Hashem Timei. It's mamish pasuk after pasuk, and it's using a different word, Mishkan and Migdash. Because of it's Migdash Hashem Timei. Imeino, don't take off the parentheses. It says over on the side to take off the parentheses. Imeino in the Tumah Shebachutz, Neu in the Tumah Shebifnim. Since we have extra pasuk, we don't know what to do with it. So it's going to say that if you have Tumah, if you became Tommy once you were inside the Beis Hamikdash, you must leave. But what are these psukim extra? Now the Gemara says we need them for something very, very simple, Rabbi Isai. Easy Gemara, I'm telling you, easy Gemara. If it says the word Mishkan on the top pasuk as you see here, why does it say the word Migdash? Mishkan. Why do we need them? I would say the Mishkan, let me just show you real quickly. This is the best I could do. This is a toy, a picture of a toy, but this is the Mishkan in the Midbar. Moshe Rabbeinu took oil, he anointed the whole thing. So maybe it has super duper Gedusha. Amigdash lo chayav, but the Beis Hamikdash, you become tummy inside, maybe you're not chayav. That's why I need the pasuk about the Beis Hamikdash. Each one has a certain pro. The Beis Hamikdash lasts forever because I hold the kedusha like the Rambam. Kedusha is forever. But the Mishkan, not. It has a lesser kedusha. It doesn't last forever. So once I need these two psukim to tell me these halachas, they're not extra. To tell me that if a human being stepped on a rat in the middle of the Beis Hamikdash, he must leave immediately. Says Gemara Reb Elazar, I'll tell you what he was saying. Since each one is called the other, they're interchangeable. Mishkan and Mikdash. I get it that you need these psukim for something else. But why can't you just say, Es Mishkan Hashem Timei, Ki Es Mikdash Hashem Timei, Mishkan Hashem Timei? Why does it switch the language? Not why is there double psukim. Why did he change the language? So now I have two things. First of all, it's double. Second of all, they're different words. Mishkan. Mishkan. Use the same word in both psukim. Why did he change? It's a law, a big sugya for something very simple. So I learned two things from here. First of all, I learned that each one is kaddish, even though it's matama, even though one doesn't last that long, it's kaddish soilim, etc. And also our halacha right here, the Reb Elazar says that when a person comes into the Beis Hamikdash tar and he stepped on a dead rat, he must leave it immediately. Mishkan, also a simple thing here. We see that a Mikdash is called a Mishkan. Yeah? Vayikra Chavav, this week's parasha. Thank you. This week's parasha. There's a bunch of things even tonight that I'm going to forget to say because I even went through, believe it or not, I did Bahar B'Chukos already one time. And I saw a bunch of stuff in there. Yes. What?
It's a double punch.
Yeah, again.
I'm getting killed with that.
And your first year, the first year is always the hardest.
Crazy.
You're getting killed, we're not. Because you're new. Trust me, it's always. The first year is always the hardest. Then next year is going to be easier.
130%, it's not that bad.
Where do we see that the Mishkan is called the Beis Hamikdash? That in the Midbar they carried the Mikdash. That's the Beis Hamikdash? No, that's talking about they lifted the Aron. They should make me a Mikdash, and I shall dwell in them. In other words, you see Mikdash, and then the next pasuk is Mishkan. We're talking about the Mishkan over there. It says Mikdash, so you see Mikdash is a Mishkan. There's a famous saying, referring to Klal Yisrael, that we have HaKadosh Baruch Hu inside of us. So everybody, whoever you ask, who authored this? It's funny. Who authored? Medrash, Gemara. It's Reb Chaim Shmulevitz. That's what Rabbi Milinowitz said. He says, I hope nobody finds. He searched, he couldn't find anybody about Reb Chaim. This is brought earlier something similar, but not those exact words. A person is inside the Beis Hamikdash and he bows down. He finds out that he's Tameh. Instead of leaving immediately, he bows. That's Hashem. Somebody sent me this terrible video. I'm warning the Olam. It's a terrible, terrible video. I'm very upset about this. It might be a little funny. I'm serious. It might be a little funny. But what they did, the guy that did the thing afterwards is terrible. Here's a guy doing Ishtachava on like Boimer. I don't like that. They hit him. They hit that guy. But anyways, that's Ishtachava. He's like, what did I do? I'm just bowing to the Rebbe. Anyways, Omar Rav Elishana Ishtachava Klapi Pnim. The Ishtachava that's Asur is when it's towards the Kodesh HaKadoshim. Ishtachava Klapi Chutz. But if you bow towards outside, Sha'in L'Sha'alai, then you have to wait. And the Gemara is going to tell us how much waiting. It's about 5 to 10 seconds. If you wait, you pause, you don't leave right away, that's when you're chayiv. And some say that at the end, it says that he paused enough to do a bowing. So that teaches us that means that in order to bow, there's a certain pause in there. And that Rava says that's only when he bowed to the outside of the Beis Hamikdash. If you turn around and you face the Kodesh HaKadoshim, then you're chayiv even without pausing. And we're going to have to understand, how do you bow without pausing? Is that possible? Think about it. How do you bow without pausing? You know? And this is what he meant. If he bowed towards the Kodesh HaKadoshim, or he didn't even bow, but he paused as long as it takes to bow, the one that you are facing outside of the Beis Hamikdash, you'd be chayiv. What does it mean bowing where there's a pause, where it takes time, and when it doesn't take time? The last Boshia Zukriya Ba'alma. So I got to show you this video real quick, even though the Israelis saw it. I got to do it. This is a classic. Here we go. This Rabbi Yisai is Kriya. And I got a header from Rabbanim.
I'm doing this to teach Torah.
That's Kriya, Rabbi Yisai. Knees on the ground, body upright.
Here, that is Kriya. Zehu Zeh.
Benny was wearing.
I don't know if you guys know, but that's how it looks. Mendy said, That means he learned it yesterday and didn't learn
Mendy's
like
laughing
this,
over
right,
there.
Mendy? Did you learn shot like that? You did? Okay, great. What's Nefilas Apayim? This is what it's all about. Nefilas Apayim.
I didn't do Kida because Kida is very dangerous, the Gemara says.
My hands are not going to be over here, but they're going to be over here.
I should have brought a picture from, there's a video of guys doing it at the Kaisel, like non-Jews.
So that's Nefilas Apayim.
Okay.
That's like a Leno and Yom Kippur like that?
No, that's like in the Churva. That's what they do in the Churva. Regular people, they get on their knees and they go down. Nefilas Apayim is flat. Your feet are flat. Like laying in your bed flat, but on your stomach. Completely prostrate. Yeah. Oh, so let's go. Yeah, without the wet socks. Getting down on your knees, there's no pause. This Boshia, but to get down on all, like just prostrate, your whole body out, flat, that's Pishut Yudayim Viraglayim. Become a Shir Shia. How long does it take? So this is every Magachir's dream, right over here. This Gemara. There's one person with him, Reb Shimon Pazi. And some people say no, it's Reb Shimon Pazi, and one person, Umanu, who is Reb Yitzchak ben Achmeni. You have to say all these words in this pasuk, which we're going to see in a second. Only from the middle of the pasuk, because it talks from the middle of the pasuk about bowing. Let's save it to the end of the pasuk. V'chol b'nei Yisrael royim beredes ha'eish u'chved Hashem al ha'boyes v'yichru apayim arza al ha'ritzbo v'ishtachavu v'hoides Hashem ki tov kilom chastoi. How long does it take to say that? So time me right now. I'm going to try to say it slow. V'chol b'nei Yisrael royim beredes ha'eish u'chved Hashem al ha'boyes v'yichru apayim arza al ha'ritzbo v'ishtachavu v'hoides Hashem ki tov kilom chastoi. 4 seconds. So basically, between 5 and 9 seconds is what's going on here. Now, Vayichru, let's do from Vayichru. 3. You're messing with me. Anyways, 3.5 seconds. His brain counts in half seconds also. Tonar Rabbana. So we're going to have this tomorrow also. Shira Shtachava. Let's call it 8 seconds. About 8 seconds. A guy pauses. The Edom say, hey, you just stepped on a mouse. You're supposed to turn around and walk out the closest door. If you pause for 8 seconds, that's enough to bow down your whole body on the floor, then you're chayiv a karba. Tonar Rabbanon, Kida ala payim. Kida is different. That's when you try to touch your toes. You know how you try to touch your toes? Good. And you walk, you do like a foot in front of you, and your head, you grab yourself with your 2 fingers on the floor. I don't know if they do that, but you bend your body like this. And Levi tried to show it how to do it, and he became crippled from trying. The Gemara says, "Nitla," something like that. Kida al payim. V'cheinu oimer v'tika b'sheva payim eretz. Kriya al birkayim, like I showed you in the video, it's on your knees. V'cheinu oimer mikroy al birkov. Yishtachava zu pishu yidayim raglayim. Yishtachava means to prostrate yourself completely on the floor. V'cheinu oimer hovino achecha. I just got to say this real quickly because this is one of these things I got to get out. It was irking me. There's a difference between, there's we see in the Torah that some people bow to different people. Like Yaakov bowed to Esav, the brothers bowed to Yosef. So when are you allowed to bow to a person, when are you not allowed to? So the idea is not to cross the red line. There's a red line. It says, if you have a mind to bow to a person, that's a problem. But if you're doing it out of respect, like they do in Japan or whatever it is, you do a little this, then it's fine. So anytime people cross the red line, and I was just thinking about, let's say, not to knock anybody that goes to Rashbi on like Boimer, but when it becomes like the focus of your religion, that's your whole, like that's the highest day of the year, and that every single person in your family has to go there, even if they're 1 year old and they get crushed by, because I've seen with my own eyes people taking babies in there, and literally like, then I said I can't go there anymore. It's like it was way too dangerous. People, small children getting crushed as they're going into the thing. No, but you got to bring them. That's already saying. But I got to show you this. I thought you probably all saw it, but just in case you didn't see it, take a look at this. Remember, you're not davening to Reb Shimon by Yechoy Chas v'Shalom. Rather, we're davening that Reb Shimon should take our tefillos up to Reb Shayla. You can laugh all you want, but there's so much truth to it. There's so much truth to it when you think that you're going to go to a certain caver and that's going to fix all your problems. When you could go to the Kaisel over here in Eretz Yisrael, you could go to the Birevach where the Torah talks about it, and you think it becomes like I gotta go there. That becomes problematic. Once you lose your focus, you lose the focus. Okay, everybody take it to where you need to take it, but you know what I'm talking about.
That guy in the video you showed before, he's not allowed to do that?
He's not Jewish.
Okay, I didn't know.
He can do whatever he wants. He's not allowed to do it because he's risking his life. Those Chassidim will beat him up.
Yeah. See?
Okay. Have a wonderful day. A good Duvie.
Merit the schus of spreading Torah throughout the world. Sponsor a shir today. MDYsponsor.com or sponsor at MDYDaf.com.